If you watched the previous episode, you'll know we're working on these frames for a little bathroom cupboard. Here's a little drawing here of what they're going to look like as a face frame finish. And we've got up to the stage of gluing up the frames last night, late one last night, gluing them together. And I got all the door sections, because it's all the same scribes and mortises, machined up and painted on the inside edges. I also got the panels painted that are going to go in the doors. So today's job is to clean these up and just progress them a bit further, maybe get the doors hung within these frames and stuff. Before I do any more on them, because they're the same thickness as the doors, I'm going to get the doors now up to the same stage so they're glued together. And I can push everything under the wide belt sander all at the same settings and sort of progress them together, because they are essentially the same thing, the door and the frame. This one's got a panel in it and one has got the open sort of section with a nice square joint for where the doors sit. These are the panels that are going inside the doors. I'm just giving them a sort of a denib sand so that they're sort of perfectly finished. It's really easy to get all the panels sanded while it's out the door, but it's difficult to get into the corners once it's been assembled. So get that done now. It makes it really easy to finish later on. It also gives me the final size or the thickness of the panel, so I can set the groove up for grooving the rails. So yeah, onto the spindle moulder with the adjustable groover. I've shown this before on the channel and setting it up, but you can shim the cutters apart to adjust your groove width by down to 0.1 mil at a time. So pretty accurate adjustments there. And I'm running the groove in line with my mortise, so I set all that up at the tenoning stage. It means I don't have to stop the grooves in the rails and stiles. I can just run everything through the spindle all in one pass. It's nice and easy. So just run a test screw there and tried it with the panels and tried a few of the different panels, and that worked absolutely perfectly. It's the perfect setup without having to adjust it, which very rarely happens. But what I've done is just set the fence above the cutter, so it gives me free rein to move the cutter as I wish, but it catches the top of the timber, and that supports it all the way through the cut. Because it's a 9mm groove and a 9.5mm tenon, we get a little flap of timber that doesn't get cut, so just trim that off with a little chisel, like so. Nice and sharp. There we go, components of the doors all ready to go. Let's get these glued up. The doors, I'm going to use the caulking technique that I've featured on the channel before for stopping the glue squeeze. So a little bit of caulk on that inside edge. It's actually an MS polymer that's easy enough to clean off, but it stops the PU glue from squeezing out the inside edge. Instead you get a squeeze of this MS polymer, which is a paintable sealant that doesn't shrink as it sets. So it's perfect for this job. So if you just clean it off once it's squeezed out, you get a perfectly corked joint where the cork isn't sort of smeared on the surface, it's actually within the joint, and it stops that horrible glue squeeze. Remember that PU glue. Sure, by now you're a bit fed up of watching me glue up a door, because I've done it so many times on camera. And little critters in. And yeah, just to clean that cork out. There's no glue squeeze, it's just that nice thick cork that's easy to get a nice finish on. Like so. So that's one glued up. I will get another set of clamps, glue the next one up, because I'm using the 5-minute glue. It's still soft now, but by the time I've glued the other one up, I'll show you in a minute, that should be able to come out the clamps. There we go, that's gone off nicely. I can take that out the clamps, carry on gluing. I'll see you when I've glued all these up. Quick cleanup of the faces from the glue residue. It's really easy to just chisel this off with a paring chisel. Nice sharp chisel, make sure you keep it flat so it doesn't dive in. With the glue cleaned off, I'm going to get the doors dimension to size on the panel saw, then do the wide belt sanding after that, so that I take out all the saw marks and any breakout from the saw blade off the face of the doors. If you cut it in the right way, if you do the end grain cuts first out the bottom of the stile and then cut them off to size in the width, you get this absolutely perfect corner. Get the camera to focus. You get this perfect corner on a piece of timber. With that blade, there's no breakout whatsoever. It's just the perfect cut. I usually leave the sanding till last, so I'll do the hinges and put that leading edge on the centre of the doors, so the stile that's in the middle. That just means I'm less likely to damage that finished sanded surface after it's been sanded, because all I've got to do is sharp edge it and it's ready for painting.